Whatever she said, then I'm mad. If this here rocks to y'all, then you mad. Whatever she said, then I'm mad. If this here rocks to y'all, then you mad.
Hey, what is going on YouTube? It is Major G. I'm excited to be here with you guys once again. So today, or no, not today, maybe a couple days ago, it was either yesterday or Thursday or the day before, Wednesday. But anyway, within this past week, Death Battle has come out with their newest Death Battle. Or Screw Attack, I should say. Screw Attack has come out with the newest Death Battle! So, for this time the Death Battle is between Carnage of Marvel fame and Lucy from Elfen Lied. Now, I know when they showed the trailer, I initially said Lane, but I didn't, when Lucy popped up, honestly, I haven't seen Lane or Elfen Lied. I've been meaning to see Elfen Lied. I used to have Elfen Lied, but it was another one of those series that I lost during the Great Hard Drive crash of 2017. So, or Great Hard Drive death. Is that probably best to say? The Great Hard Drive death of 2017. So I lost that series. I don't have it right now. I haven't had a chance to see it. So I don't know very much about Lucy. I know that she has weird mind powers, and she just obliterates people with her. I think it's her mind. And then there is Carnage. Carnage is another symbiote. He's one of the symbiotes that was introduced during the Secret Wars, I want to say, or just after Secret War, when Spidey came back from, I don't remember the name of that planet, with his brand new black suit, which was actually the Venom symbiote, and I believe Carnage is an offspring of Venom, if I remember correctly. And the Carnage that we all know and love, i.e. the Carnage that is usually advertised in anything Marvel, is attached to a serial killer by the name of, what is his name? Cletus I can't remember his name. But he's a crazy, insane, absolutely nutty, batty serial killer. Imagine essentially either Michael Myers / the Joker with the powers of Venom. So that's essentially what you're dealing with here. Cletus Cassidy, that's the guy's name. Cletus Cassidy is the most famous host of the Carnage symbiotes. And because it has been bonded to Cletus Cassidy for a long time, I believe the symbiote itself has kind of become psycho. Because Cletus is the psycho. So I believe that Carnage has changed host and possibly became a protagonist, or either a protagonist or an anti-villain. Hero or anti-villain, I believe. I can't remember honestly. Once again, I haven't been able to get to comic shops in a while. But I think the current incarnation of Carnage may or may not be either a hero or an anti-villain. So yeah, but anyway, they're probably going to use Cletus Cassidy Carnage, which means he's going to have ridiculous powers. He has all the powers of Venom, plus some. I don't know the specifics. Honestly, I don't know the specifics of what Carnage can do versus Venom. I do know that the symbiotes are slightly different, especially if they're offspring. But, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Now the thing is that because Lucy has crazy, weird mind powers, generally I would give this to Lucy, but I don't think that the symbiotes can be killed by any. I don't think the symbiotes can be killed by straight up violence. Now, if Lucy has some kind of reality altering powers, that would definitely be the death of Carnage, but I don't think she does. Therefore, I would have to say Carnage would probably take this battle. And solely for that reason, because as far as I understand it, the primary weakness for a symbiote is sound. And even then, it just chases them off. So, I don't think that you can actually really kill a symbiote. Not saying for sure, I'm saying that's my understanding of it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get on with this. I'm gonna have to give this to Carnage trepidly. I'll have to check and see at when they do the commercial break. So let's do it to it.
Hey everybody, we have a brand new Death Battle t-shirt on the Screw Attack /Rooster Teeth store. Head to store.roosterteeth.com and you guys can pick one up.
Oh, have they merged Rooster Teeth and Screw Attack? Forgive me, I don't follow Rooster Teeth at all, so I don't really know anything about them besides
it's
Ruby.
that there's no real limit to crazy.
Like Carnage, Marvel's dangerously insane psychopath.
Or Lucy, the messed up murder lady from Elfen Lied.
Elfen Lied. It's German.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and
I didn't
skills
realize
to find
it
out
was,
who would win
German, though.
a death battle. Cletus Cassidy didn't have the chance to be a well-adjusted adult because his entire family was already crazy. While Cletus was just a boy, his father got sent to jail for killing his mother.
Which he did because she had tried to kill Cletus.
Which she did because Cletus had tortured and killed her dog Fifi.
Well, go,
Jeez.
Miss Cassidy. All dog murderers deserve death.
Marvel,
even if they're
what have you been up
right,
to?
Jack Spaniels? Good boy. Oh, and Cletus murdered his grandma, too, because she's kind of a bitch.
He didn't stop there and wound up burning down his own orphanage. Years later, he was finally arrested and convicted for 11 murders.
You mean the 11 murders they knew about?
But while in prison, Cletus found that he wasn't alone. In fact, his cellmate just so happened to be Eddie Brock.
Eddie
Who you may
Brock,
know as
okay.
that creepy guy covered in black ink called Venom.
That ink is actually a symbiotic alien known as a Clintar. This symbiote bonded with Eddie, transforming him into a powerful and violent rival for the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
But what Eddie didn't know was, it was pregnant. Oh, time to go out for cigarettes, Eddie.
Well, symbiotes actually
Wow,
reproduce
regenerate from
asexually.
Cletus's
When
blood.
Eddie became Venom once again, the symbiote sort of oozed out its spawn and left it there.
Just like me and my dad. Well, this new symbiote immediately attached itself to Cletus, but unlike the Venom one, it merged through a cut on his skin, creating this suit made out of blood. Ew, that doesn't seem sanitary.
And together
What?
they became...
Hold on, I'm
Carnage.
sorry, I gotta go back.
A fitting name for a psycho mass murderer.
Ooh, excuse
Cletus
me.
and his new...
Left it there.
Just like time to go out for cigarettes, Eddie.
Well,
I wasn't really
symbiotes
paying
actually
attention.
reproduce asexually. When Eddie became Venom once again, the symbiote sort of oozed out its spawn and left it there.
Just like me and my dad. Well, this new symbiote immediately attached itself to Cletus, but unlike the Venom one, it merged through a cut on his skin, creating this suit made out of blood. Ew, that doesn't
Freaking
seem
blood.
sanitary.
And together they became...
I didn't know
Carnage.
that.
A fitting name for a psycho mass murderer. Cletus and his new symbiote quickly got up to what they knew best, creating
Killing.
maximum carnage.
Barking and
Remember that
maximum
game?
carnage.
It was great.
And with his new superpowers, he was a vicious force to be reckoned with. He has the same superhuman strength,
Oh,
speed,
shoot.
and durability as Venom, and supposedly even greater, like a Venom 2.0.
He can shapeshift to make all sorts of killer weapons, like axes, swords, and spikes. He can even rip those weapons off himself or launch them at his victims. Have you ever tried ripping your fingers off and throwing them at people? Because that's just kind of what Carnage does.
The symbiote can also reach out with dozens of chaotic, blood-soaked tendrils, perfect for strangling the people he doesn't want to see anymore. With a single touch, Carnage can infect a person with a portion of his symbiote, controlling
really
or
depends on
torturing them
what
at his
Lucy
leisure.
Lucy
He has
can do.
unbelievable regeneration, and even if somebody finds a way to disable his suit, the Carnage symbiote lives inside his bloodstream and can come back out through something as meager as a paper cut.
Also, the symbiote literally sees everything around it. It's kind of like wearing a suit made of eyeballs.
But let's say you're able to
Power
dodge his
Rangers.
projectiles, outrun the tendrils, and get out of sight from the eyeball suit. You're still not safe. He will catch you because he can sprout wings and fly.
What the hell? Since when?
Since realizing that shapeshifting is a really, really useful ability.
So he's able to fly, he's totally aware of everything around him, and he's full of blood? This guy's like a giant mosquito of death.
Sure. Carnage has said he's at least 10 times faster than the average man. But that's pretty modest, because Venom has shown he can move fast enough to catch up to a bullet after it's fired. And Carnage is frequently shown to
Whoa.
be as fast or even faster than him. This puts Carnage over 1,500 miles per hour, over twice the speed of sound.
He's lifted
Ripped
a
in half by
50-ton
Sentry.
tank, and he can overpower Spider-Man, whose best supported strength feat was lifting that giant machine thing that weighed as much as a 1965
Survived the
locomotive.
gene
Which
bomb.
would put it around 130 tons.
And you know those weird tendril things crawling around his body? When he wanted to find a missing journalist in New York, he climbed to the top of the Empire State Building and just stretched them all out over the city.
He found her by this coastline, and this building nearby looks a lot like the consolidated Edison plant between 14th and 15th Street. That's about 2 miles away.
And as a thank you for saving her, she shot Carnage in the head. Well, fine. Save your own ass next time, lady.
He was fine. Carnage's durability doesn't come from a sturdy build. Instead, his form is malleable and somewhat fluid. Technically, his human body still exists somewhere in that mass of blood, flesh, and writhing tentacles, but even when he's hit by a train, struck by missiles, or blasted apart by a tritium bomb, he can always just pull himself back together.
So long as there's a piece of him still around. Given the size of that blast, it looks like Carnage survived a blast worth 125 tons of TNT.
Very impressive. Also, he once smothered and survived a gene bomb designed to wipe out all of humanity except mutants.
He's even survived being ripped in half and thrown into space. Seriously, what kills this guy?
Well, he does share the same weaknesses as other symbiotes, namely extremely loud noises and heat.
Well, until he
heat.
traded the
Okay.
sound one for a weakness against some Cthulhu-looking magic.
Carnage has been through a lot, but with two minds as one, he always gets back up to keep doing what he loves.
Murder,
Killing.
murder, and, you know,
Lots of
more
killing.
murder.
Carnage is chaos!
There are some mysteries the world holds which no one is meant to know. Every day, something, somewhere, comes ever closer to destroying everything you hold dear. One such secret is the Dicloni.
Ah, no big
The
deal.
what now?
They're just a race of crazy people who want to infect human beings to make more Dicloni and then wipe out all of humanity. Oh, look at the cute little horns. They look like kitty ears.
To accomplish this, the Dicloni would have to rely on their queen, Carnage, better known as Lucy.
Luckily for everyone, some important people figured this out and captured her. And now it's time for your only warning.
Right, Lucy's methods, let's just say they're not for the faint of heart.
And let's also say that those lucky important people were about to get very, very unlucky. Jesus Christ, what's happening?
To truly understand, let's take a step back. As an infant, Lucy was abandoned by her parents and left alone to suffer a life of constant discrimination.
It was the horns, wasn't it?
Right, even the average kid hates growing up in an orphanage, but it was especially painful for her.
Until she found a stray puppy and decided to take care of it. That adorable little critter and her became best friends. And then the other kids from the orphanage went out
Oh,
and beat it
no.
to death and forced her to watch.
Oh, dude. They haven't
No
seen John
shit,
Wick.
She wants to kill everyone.
No
Go
kidding.
ahead, Lucy.
She
Tear
went
up
John
those little
Wick on
bastards.
them. Oh, at that point, you kind of deserve it. You don't kill somebody's dog, man.
Whoa! Damn!
This was the first time Lucy unleashed her psychokinetic vectors. As a Diclonius queen, Lucy is meant to use these vectors to infect ordinary human beings with the Diclonius virus.
Oh, but she uses them
Oh.
for so much more.
For simplicity's sake, think of the vectors as invisible arms which can sprout from Lucy's back.
Lucy can use up to 28 vectors with a normal range of about 6 to 7 feet. When she gets really serious, her horns grow and the vectors get way longer and stronger.
She can vibrate her vectors at different frequencies, and each level of vibration has different effects.
Kinda like that thing that my ex-wife had on the nightstand that I thought was one of those crazy pens.
At low frequencies, her vectors can pass through objects with no effect. At a medium frequency, the vectors become solid, like extendable hands, while still completely invisible. These can be used as shields and lift heavy objects.
Oh man, if I had those things, I'd be messing with people all the time, like tying their shoes from across the room. Also, since this seems to be a thing in this episode, she can fly.
It's not really flying, she's just lifting herself off the ground. With the third frequency, Lucy turns her vectors into invisible blades. These can cut through people and bend metal.
And with the last and highest frequency, Lucy gets explosive. No, really, at this level, they finally become visible and can strike with enough force to detonate. Damn!
I'm
they
still
don't
not
call
seeing
this
something
chick
that
the
could
queen
just
for
that could
nothing.
take out Carnage.
Unfortunately, Lucy is not always in control of what she does. Turns out she has developed several alternate personalities.
Yeah, getting shot in the head can do that to you.
That injury specifically created New, a passive, almost childlike persona which exists as a coping mechanism for Lucy's trauma. As New, Lucy would finally find friends, and began forging a path toward hopeless redemption.
Unlike her third personality, the so-called DNA voice, which constantly whispers in her ear that she's got a job to do. Kill them all, Lucy, before they hurt more puppies. Ooh, I'm spooky DNA.
She could do it too. Lucy's fast enough to block bullets from a point-blank range. And once, she actually saved herself from a bullet after she had already been shot. As in, while the bullet was traveling between her skin and her heart.
It looks like she's getting shot by an MP5, which fires bullets at nearly 900 miles
That's
per
pretty
hour.
fast.
With her body type, the distance between Lucy's skin and heart is less than an inch, probably around 2.4 centimeters. Given the bullet speed and the distance her vector would have to reach from her back before the bullet hit her heart, her vector had to move nearly 1,900 miles per hour. That's over twice the speed of sound.
She can throw a pen through a guy's skull. Brutal. And even tossed this giant boulder.
When
Like,
compared to
the
this guy,
speed thing is
Bando,
nice,
who
but-
we know is 6 feet tall, we can determine the boulder weighs about 75 tons. Her vectors are also tough enough to block a missile from the Air Force. While the exact model of missile is unspecified,
Yeah,
it
she
is
doesn't
fairly
get hurt,
large
though.
and likely an air-to-surface type.
I bet it's one of the Air Force's
Carnage is
slams
more
or
durable.
standoff land attack
I
missile
still see
built
Carnage
off the
taking
back
this.
of the Navy's Harpoon missile. In fact, a Harpoon is used against a different Diclonius at one point. So this beast slammed into her vector at 500 miles per hour with a 1,000-pound explosive yield, and it didn't even phase her. Even without a vector shield, she survived a pretty nasty explosion herself, though it did knock her out.
Impressive, but how about the time she punched through an island? A strike literally compared to nuclear fusion. This kicked up a 100-foot tidal wave and a 9.2 magnitude earthquake. A level so high, there's only been 4 comparable quakes ever recorded.
Her vectors can be as wide as buildings and reach into outer space, except that's about when Lucy reaches her limit.
Right. As a Diclonius, Lucy has a few severe weaknesses. Her vectors can be nullified if she's struck in the forehead, or if one of her horns are broken.
Also, if Lucy pushes herself too hard, she starts to melt. Kinda like ice cream out in the Texas sun. It's not pretty. She's just a big puddle of goop with a face, but she's still a total badass, even at her meltiest.
While suffering agonizing pain, she was capable of single-handedly halting a massive military threat, while healing and protecting the person she loved most. Perhaps redemption wasn't so hopeless after all.
Hey, let's watch her kill some more people.
Yeah,
All right, the combatants are set.
I'm pretty
Let's
sure
end this debate
Cassidy's
once and
more
for
durable.
all.
But first,
Hey,
you'd
what
be
game has Carnage
crazy
been
not
in?
to get in on this deal.
By
Was
now,
that
you've
Ultimate
probably heard
Spider-Man?
of Blue Apron, the
was
leading
a
meal kit delivery
cel-shaded
service
game.
in the U.S.
But did you know about all the different kinds of delicious foods you can make? Like the
I
honey
think Ultimate
chipotle
Spider-Man
glazed
was
chicken
a
with poblano and
cel
lime
shaded.
rice.
There's plenty to
For
choose
P-
from,
for
since they offer
PS2
12 new
and
recipes
Xbox.
each week. All you have to do is choose the 2, 3, or 4 that sound best to you, and they deliver it right to your door.
Plus, it's super simple to cook. It's got easy to follow instructions and perfectly proportioned ingredients. They're non-GMO,
versus
and the meat
360 or
has no
PS3?
added hormones. My favorite part is
PS3
feeling like a
versus
master chef,
360.
making creative and delicious
Xbox.
meals with my own hands. You guys really need to try it out.
It's pretty nice coming home knowing I'll have a delicious meal I can whip up with ease.
So check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free at blueapron.com/battle. That's blueapron.com/battle to get your first 3 meals free. But right now, it's time for a death battle!
I'm still gonna say Carnage. I think Carnage has more durability. And if he can survive what she dishes out, she can actually end up killing herself. And that's if he doesn't take her out.
Die.
Yeah, as I thought, she's faster, but he has more durability. I don't know if he has limits. Yeah, I don't think Carnage has limits to his durability. He can honestly probably just wear her down. And that's a minimum.
It's raining. You're bleeding. Carnage is starving.
Oh shoot. Carnage is hungry.
Get back.
Also, the problem is that her methods are too messy.
Don't worry.
If there's blood, he can still regenerate.
Misery.
Whoa, what?
First those kids at the orphanage, then Cletus. Lucy really hates dog killers, and for good reason.
Carnage was a challenging opponent. It was incredibly difficult for Lucy to deal any lasting damage against him.
He had the durability advantage in the bag, though Lucy fighting as a puddle proved she could take a lot of pain and keep on fighting. Sadly, Carnage came up short in pretty much everything else.
Right, Carnage was tough, but not invincible. Even his surviving that gene bomb isn't quite as impressive as it sounds. Since he had no other feats to even remotely back up planetary level durability, and the bomb was more akin to a biological weapon anyway. While Carnage's tendrils could pass speeds of Mach 2, Lucy's vectors once reached into outer space. By timing her accompanying monologue and comparing the longest vector's length to the curvature of the Earth, it's clear she reached over 2,400 miles in 20 seconds max.
Way longer than Carnage's 2-mile feat.
All this
Yeah.
means her vectors were moving at least 440,000 miles per hour. more than 500 times the speed of sound. and
Right, I know she's
250 times
faster.
faster
I
than
know
Carnage.
she's faster. I
Good
want to know
luck
how she
getting
could
past
beat
that.
him, though.
And this was really the biggest hurdle. With Lucy's redonkulous speed and Carnage's healing powers, it all boiled down to one thing. Who could hit the killing blow first? I mean, Carnage could respawn from scraps, so the only way to beat him for good was to totally vaporize him.
And Lucy had the perfect answer to that. Remember that time she hit an island so hard she caused a 9.2 magnitude earthquake and a 100-foot tall tidal wave? Such a feat would require an enormous amount of explosive energy, approximately 31,000 tons of TNT, similar to the bomb that hit Hiroshima.
It's literally compared to nuclear fusion in the Elfen Lied manga.
Okay,
Elfen
gotcha.
Lied, it's German.
The point is, in order to beat Carnage for good, Lucy needed to totally obliterate him, and she could do that.
The heat produced within the initial impact of the nuclear explosion can reach
the
temperatures up to
heat.
180,000
And that would
degrees
be it,
Fahrenheit,
the heat.
more than 18 times hotter than the surface of the sun. And to top
Wow.
it off, heat was Carnage's biggest weakness. Even if Lucy's explosive force was just a fraction of this, it would still have been far too much for him.
She just needed to smack him before he could power through her vectors, which chances were
Right.
pretty slim for that happening anyway, because there's a bunch of them and they're so damn fast. Hitting Carnage with a big explosion punch was way easier.
Cletus and his symbiote may have had the endurance, but Lucy's space-worthy speed, overwhelming presence, and nuclear strength won the day.
She dealt the carnage needed for a total victory.
All right.
And took the lead. There, I said it right, Wiz. Happy.
See, that's what I get for
The
not
winner
knowing the
is
people.
Lucy.
I feel
Thanks for
cheated
watching,
because
and
they
if you enjoyed the
told-
fight, you can get a first membership and
All right,
watch our
who's
commentary by clicking that box.
I hope it's Karate
Thank you,
Kid
Chad.
versus
and
Iron
if you want the
Fist
battle
or
music
something.
from this episode, you can get it in the link in the description below.
That's all I want. It's just Karate Kid. Is this Gundam versus Optimus Prime? Yup, Gundam versus Optimus Prime. Oh shoot! Oh man. Okay, so I definitely. All right. I think my biggest weakness was that I just didn't know anything about Lucy because I haven't seen Elfen Lied. Also, I don't know that much about Carnage, as I said at the beginning. So that, I mean, that's perfectly fine. They totally undersold Lucy, which is why I kept thinking Carnage had it. They never, as far as I can understand, there wasn't really anything that they had stated in the matchup, during that matchup between the two of them, that would suggest that Lucy could beat him. I guess the nuclear fusion was the closest thing, but then they overstated the gene bomb. So I thought he could survive. I thought if he could survive the gene bomb, he would obviously survive this that island punching thing, the nuclear fusion thing. So, yeah. So I feel like I was totally tricked on that one. But I mean, that's mostly my fault for not knowing how the competitors truly matched up. So yeah, that's fine. That's another loss for me. I think that's the so far. There's only 3 total because I and all of them have been people I didn't know. Like all of them have been people I didn't know either one of them that well. So that was it Dante versus Bayonetta? I got wrong. Oh no, actually I did know Sora and Pit, but I understated Sora. I thought the whole Disney World thing threw me off in terms of his level of power. And then this one's what do you call it? Lucy versus Carnage. So I thought Carnage would have had it, but they're right. Carnage, and as I was saying during the fight, Carnage's biggest strength was his endurance, and they even said that was his biggest strength during this fight was his endurance, and that's what I said was that if he could endure it, and she ran out of power, he had the win. So yeah, so and like I said, I even said that she was faster too. I admitted that she's faster, but I thought Carnage had more endurance. So yeah, that's what I get for trying to play the defense card, you know. So yeah, how did you guys feel about this fight? Let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And once again, be excellent to one another and party on, dudes.
I'm not doing this. Do it.
Oh my god. Oh my god, with a Twizzler. I love it.
Sorry about your dead human friend, Philip.
Oh shoot!